Hello Boston Bruins fans. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to our news channel, where we provide up-to-date first-hand information about the Boston Bruins. We are committed to sharing only true, high-quality news with our followers. Don't miss the latest and most up-to-date Boston Bruins news, posted daily here, by subscribing to our channel. It's been a few days since the Boston Bruins completed their epic victory over the Florida Panthers, and it's still hard to believe it happened. This was a team that put together the best regular season in NHL history and lost a 3-1 series lead to a club that had 43 points. It will forever be remembered as one of the greatest flops in NHL history, but at the same time, perhaps it was predictable when looking at the Bruins' record since winning the Stanley Cup in 2011. While the Toronto Maple Leafs tend to get more flack from opposing fans for their now-erased first-round curse, the Bruins have had their fair share of meltdowns since their last Stanley Cup victory. As a result, I'd say this latest postseason flop for the Bruins has earned them the title of series chokers. Disagree? Let's take a look at the most embarrassing playoff moments since the last Stanley Cup win that effectively demonstrate this. When they went into the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals, the Bruins were considered underdogs. The Chicago Blackhawks had a spectacular game-shortened season in 2012-13, going July 5, 36 and winning the President's Trophy. As a result, if they lost to them in a normal way, it would still be painful, but also understandable. However, all Bruins fans know how that streak ended. In the sixth, the Bruins held a 2-1 lead with just over a minute left. However, in just 17 seconds, Tuukka Rask allowed goals to Brian Bickell and Dave Bolland, resulting in Boston losing the Stanley Cup Finals at home. It wouldn't be the only big game the Bruins would lose at home over the years. 2014 President's Trophy season greatest rivals series hit. Despite missing the Stanley Cup Finals so flagrantly in 2013, the Bruins bounced back well during the 2013-14 regular season. They finished the campaign with an outstanding 54-19-9 record and won the President's Trophy. Many saw them as favorites for the 2014 Stanley Cup Finals because of this, but they didn't make it. 2019, Bruins lose another Stanley Cup Final at home. The 2019 Stanley Cup Finals will certainly be remembered for one of the biggest upsets in Bruins franchise history. Unlike the series against the Blackhawks, the Bruins against the St. Louis Rams considered big favorites. Louis Blues. However, inconsistent play forced them to play Game 7 at TD Garden, and you know the rest. The Bruins tried half-heartedly, and the fate of the game was decided in the first period. They scored 2 goals in the first period and didn't score until late in the third period when the game was almost over. Perhaps what hurt the most in that particular streak was the loss of Jordan Binnington, then an American Hockey League (AHL) goaltender who played for the Providence Bruins in 2017-18. 2020, another President's Trophy disappointment. The Bruins had a strong 2019-2020 regular season, posting a 44-14-12 record and winning the President's Trophy. However, it is also important to note that the season was prematurely suspended due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The league resumed in August 2020, and it would be another disappointing postseason for the Bruins. Rask slipped out of the playoff bubble after 2 games due to a family emergency, and Yaroslav Halak took over at net. The veteran goaltender helped them overcome the Carolina Hurricanes, but in playoff style the Bruins would fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning in just 5 games into the second round. Losing Rask didn't help, of course, but the President's Trophy winners were beaten in every way by the eventual Stanley Cup winners. 2023, the best regular season team of all time loses a 3-1 series lead. While the Bruins have had some major meltdowns, I believe this year will take the cake as the biggest embarrassment in franchise history. General Manager, GM, Don Sweeney built one of the deepest rosters ever after his exceptional trade deadline, and the Bruins still haven't made it. Sure, they won 65 games, set numerous records, and were the best regular season team of all time. After losing a 3-1 series lead and losing in the first round, it doesn't matter in the end. Matthew Tkachuk of the Florida Panthers scores the game-winning goal over Linus Ullmark of the Boston Bruins in overtime in Game 5 of the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. Already leave your like in this video, because it is very important so that you don't miss any news from the Bruins, which we will post on this channel at any moment. Thank you. Continuing. During the regular season, they had 3 opportunities to eliminate a Panthers team that was far behind them in the standings. However, after Linus Ullmark's costly turnover in Game 5, Boston was never able to recover and regain control of the series. Instead, they played their worst hockey of the year when it mattered most, and now the season is over because of it. Related, Bruins news and rumors, epic meltdown and changes to come. Now we're heading into the offseason where the Bruins are going through a lot of changes. Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci may resign. The Bruins have several pending unrestricted free agents, UFAs, such as Tyler Bertuzzi, Dmitry Orlov, Nick Foligno, Connor Clifton, Garnet Hathaway and Tomas Nosek, and their cap space will cause them to lose several of them. As a result, this was his last chance with this group and they didn't even come close to finishing the job. At the end of the day, the difference between losing and losing is how the Bruins always do. We'll have to wait and see if he redeems himself with an expected weaker roster in 2023-24. It's wonderful to have you here. I am extremely happy with your presence and would love to hear your opinion in the comments, so that we can together expand our knowledge of Boston through this channel. Sharing knowledge is essential, so I would be very grateful if you would subscribe to our channel, allowing us to reach even more fans. With your help, I feel motivated to post videos daily and keep it constantly updated. By subscribing, you will receive notifications whenever a new video is published. Thank you immensely for your support.